Here are my top 12 running backs in 2025 fantasy football drafts. Number 1, Saquon Barkley. I'm going against the grain here. Everybody's worried about Saquon Barkley and those 482 touches that went through the NFL playoffs, but I contend linebackers are lighter than ever. They go about 230. Many plays, only 2 linebackers on the field. No more free runners on most plays. Got no guided missiles to take out those running backs. Barkley, if you watch those games, he was not taking big hits. I get it, the workload was high, but Barkley was not beaten up, in my opinion. And I think, therefore, we are going to see Barkley playing at that elite level and that elite offense again in 2025. Take him number 1. Number 2, Bijan Robinson. Can't go wrong here either. Legendary down the stretch we saw last year, especially the last 6 weeks of the season. Bijan Robinson was putting up the highest level numbers, and we love that. But one thing that people really didn't notice late in the season, especially when Michael Penix took over, Bijan Robinson was not very active as a receiver. And I wonder if that's an issue in Michael Penix's game, that he's hunting downfield a little too much and not looking for that check down. If that doesn't get fixed, we were liking Bijan Robinson because of the pass catching ability. But in reality, if he's just a runner, and he's a great runner, there's no reason to put him out of Saquon Barkley, who doesn't get a lot of catches in Philadelphia either. Give me the player on the better offense. It'd be Saquon Barkley, number 1. Bijan Robinson, number 2. Let's go to number 3, Jahmyr Gibbs. Can't go wrong here either. When Gibbs took over late season for David Montgomery due to injury to Montgomery, Gibbs was legendary. The PPR points were through the roof. We saw league winner week after week. The problem is the fantasy community is expecting that Montgomery is going to be an afterthought. Gibbs is going to have that same role he had down the stretch. And I'm thinking, maybe let's put a little brakes on that a little bit. Gibbs is going to be great. I don't question it. I have him ranked very aggressively. David Montgomery is the heart and soul of that offense. He's still going to be very involved. He's going to take touchdowns. He saw 3 to 5 targets in a lot of games before he got injured. We see Jahmyr Gibbs. He's going to have a high floor. But I don't know, we're going to see all those ceiling games that we saw. That's why I can't put him any higher than running back 3. But keeping him there is more than fair. Don't forget also, Detroit has a complete turnover on their interior offensive line, which could cause a minor issue as well. Number 4, Christian McCaffrey of the San Francisco 49ers. Look, I get it. Injury history. If we take the short view and we look at the last 3 years, we realize that McCaffrey played 2 completely full seasons, super effective. Last year, he had a training injury. It really wasn't a football injury. It was an Achilles injury, but he didn't tear the Achilles. And then he suffered a knee injury when he came back from that injury late. Didn't look like he was in peak form. Betting on McCaffrey is not bad. He's age 29. His workload for his career, because of 3 seasons where he missed more than half of the year, is not as crazy as you'd think. McCaffrey is the featured component in Kyle Shanahan's offense, who uses a runner and a receiver. And remember, in each of McCaffrey's last 4 full seasons, he's been the running back 1 or the running back 2. I'll tell you this, if you're in a tournament and you have to beat hundreds or thousands of teams, makes sense as a super early pick. If you're in your regular 12-team league, I have him ranked 4th at running back. If you don't like that uncertainty with injury, then I understand if you move him down a bit. I'm not doing that. Number 5, Derrick Henry of the Baltimore Ravens. We realize that last year from like week 11 on, the Ravens completely unlocked Henry. They moved Lamar Jackson into the shotgun. They put Henry on his hip. We call it the pistol formation. And Henry was averaging 143 yards a game down the stretch. It was a thing of beauty. Now that the Ravens completely figured that out, they come into the season being able to run that right back. Henry's not going to catch many footballs, but Henry last year, we saw him put up massive yardage numbers. Don't be surprised if Derrick Henry, even though he's getting a little old, he could flirt with 2,000 yards. And don't be surprised also if he pushes those touchdowns to a level we haven't seen, because the Ravens are going to score a boatload of points this year. Number 6, Ashton Jeanty of the Las Vegas Raiders, the rookie. Like him in the first batch of running backs here, but the only thing, a little uncertainty. It looks like he's going to be the full 3-down back. There really is no competition in Las Vegas. I do worry that the Raiders defense may be so bad they air the ball out a lot more than they want to. And if that happens, we know Jeanty can catch passes, but he catches them obviously as a running back in the short area of the field. Well, Brock Bowers, a tight end, catch the short area passes. Jacoby Myers probably going to play a lot of slot. Those are short area passes. So it may just not correlate with Jeanty getting the extreme volume we'd like to see. Also, the Raiders may struggle to score points. The offensive line is definitely not a team strength. It's not a weakness, but it's not a strength. Defenses, if the Raiders become one-dimensional, could really make things difficult for Geno Smith. So there is a little more risk with Jeanty than we'd like to think. We do expect him to have volume, but if that offense is bad, the touchdown number may be low. If you're enjoying this breakdown, take a second, hit like and subscribe. It helps RotoWire keep the fantasy advice coming. And if you want even more of RotoWire's tools, rankings, and insight, we got a 15% discount just for our YouTube viewers. You go to rotowire.com, you choose that subscription, you use the code YouTube15 at checkout. All right, number 7, Chase Brown. Yes, I'm bumping him up to number 7 of the Cincinnati Bengals. Here's the beauty with Chase Brown. Last year, when the Bengals installed their offense, this is per their beat reporter, Coach Dan Pitcher, offensive coordinator, he set the offense for Zach Moss. Don't know why. That's what they chose to do. This year, they're creating the outside zone run be tailored to Chase Brown. We already know defenses will play their defenders way back because of Chase and Higgins. Brown will have a boatload of room to run free without contact. And then when the plays break down, we know Joe Burrow is going to check down to him a ton. Brown could catch 70 passes. Brown could run for a lot of yards. This team is going to be scoring points in bucket loads, and Brown will be a very good touchdown scorer as well. Number 8, Josh Jacobs, another player I have higher than consensus, but Josh Jacobs is fairly reliable. He doesn't miss a lot of time. We know he has been installed as the workhorse in this Green Bay offense. Even though he plays 62% of the snaps, he gets the ball when he's on the field. Doesn't catch a ton of passes, but catches some. The touchdown volume was extremely high once they leaned on him last year, and I expect Green Bay to roll that back. I want some reliability in running backs. This next batch of running backs are some questions. I want the one with the least questions, so Jacobs is 8. Number 9, Jonathan Taylor, Indianapolis Colts. You saw the upside in the end of last season. Last 5 games, averaging 25 carries, supreme yardage numbers, finding the end zone. And when Taylor is running, he does have top 3 or 4 running back upside. But the injuries have been a problem the last few years. Also, it shouldn't be understated that Daniel Jones is going to be the quarterback. Defense are going to put a lot of bodies in the short area of the field. And also, 2 starting offensive linemen from last year are gone from the Colts, and that could be an issue as well. So Jonathan Taylor has more risk than I would like, but he's still a strong running back 9. Running back 10, Bucky Irving, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And look, he's ranked aggressively here. People may draft him a little ahead of that, but I'm still a little bit worried. Irving was great last year, but the whole Buccaneers offense was great. Liam Cohen called a perfect storm. Had motion, play action. They had all the gadgets and whistles going, and everybody ate in that offense. Well, Cohen's gone, and if some of that magic is gone, will the magic kind of make this a good offense, but not the great one it was last year? Irving was in the perfect scenario. If it's not a perfect scenario, it's a small sample that he did extremely well in, and maybe he repeats it. But I think there's a lot of unrealized risk here, although I still, again, have him at running back 10. Running back 11, Kyren Williams, and volume is king in fantasy football. You know that Kyren Williams is going to get volume. They just paid him. They drafted another running back. They did that last year. Didn't really matter. Kyren Williams is the guy. The only concern that I'm seeing with Kyren Williams, Matthew Stafford. If that back injury flares up, if he's unable to play, that whole offense could become a very, very dangerous proposition if Jimmy Garoppolo is the quarterback. And if they're not scoring points, Kyren Williams may not be in an advantageous spot. So I do worry the whole offense tanks if Stafford's gone. So there is risk. Number 12, Breece Hall of the New York Jets. And I don't like to talk about Braylon Allen being a deal in this offense, but I have to believe that Breece Hall, who said he played with a sprained MCL all year last year, was true to his word. Because we saw in the first 2 years a superstar player. And I believe Hall is that level of player. Having that hyper-mobile Justin Fields at quarterback will keep linebackers on their heels. That's going to give Hall a lot of extra room to run. Also, the Jets are properly talking of Hall as an outstanding pass catcher, which he is. And he can be the de facto number 2 option in this offense because we don't trust the receivers beyond Garrett Wilson. So Breece Hall could also catch himself a lot of passes.